Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is Thursday, September 11th, 2025, around 5:30. Lee, how you doing? How you
Doing all
been?
right. I've been all right. How about yourself, bud?
Pretty good. Like the Target shout out on your shirt. Shout out
Yeah.
Target.
Shout out Target.
Um, Shout out the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a
Yeah.
nice win week one against the New York Jets. It was a revenge game.
Yes.
We're gonna get to Tomlin's final thoughts on the game, but do you have any final thoughts from the game?
I like we talked about. I thought it was a very good game. Got glad to see a opening drive touchdown. Glad to see them put up 30 points. I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit of a blowout, but I'm kind of happy. That we got the win the way we did. It was a little shaky at first, but I don't think I really had too much of a doubt that they were going to lose that game. But they played well. They definitely need to make some improvements from what we talked about in the post game show on Sunday after the game. But it was a decent game. It was, it was week one. They still got another 17 weeks to go.
Yeah, I relay a lot of the same things you're saying. The only question is whether or not the Jets are going to be that good offensively, or if that's something we're going to have to worry about. It's a unique offense on its own. Even if they're not good, just playing a team like that is a little rough. Justin Fields played amazing. He was trying to get his revenge. The Steelers were able to get their revenge. Well, not specifically the Steelers, but the Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers was able to get his revenge. Got the win against his former team. He looked pretty good. He talked this week about how he thinks he did go into a couple sacks. I don't know if he's protecting Broderick Jones, or if that's how he actually feels. But he did get sacked 4 times. But other than that, 4 touchdowns. I think 278 yards. What he finished with. I thought it was a great performance by him. Right?
Yeah, for sure. He played very well. I think I saw a stat somewhere. I can't remember the exact amount, but he's tied for first with Tom Brady with the most games, 4 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. I think I saw a stat somewhere.
That's impressive.
It's just really, really good to see. He played well. He didn't make any true mistakes, really. I mean, there were, a lot of times he got sacked about 4 times we talked about, but I don't think a lot of that was his fault. But he did. He played very well, and I'm excited to see how he's going to play moving forward with us.
Did you name him your MVP? I can't remember. I think that was who you named. But I'm not sure.
No, I picked. I think I picked Calvin Austin.
Okay, cool.
Which he ended up having a touchdown that game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to segue to the MVP I picked was Chris Boswell, and updating our stats, our Steeler player reward draft. You actually got some points this week due to your boy Chris Boswell. He got PFF Team of the Week and Special Teams Player of the Week for the AP. So you got 6 points total out of that. I got 0 points. None of my guys made Team of the Week, and then none of them made Player of the Week. But Chris Boswell, shout out to him to you. He's got you up early after week one.
The Wizard of Boz. That's the man right there. Got a career high 60-yard field goal. Yep. Yeah.
Your really third pick in the draft. It was a very smart pick, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of mad I didn't think of him earlier.
Yeah.
But let's move on to another revenge game. This week, DK Metcalf was asked, and he's putting it off. He doesn't seem to see it as any other game. He's more excited for the home opener, it appears. But here's Metcalf being asked about the game.
You heard from any former teammates or coaches yet
this
week?
You steady trying to make this about them, cuz. No, I ain't heard from nobody.
Well, I was going to say, Seahawks fans, it's going to be a big deal for them. Steelers fans are excited to see you out there, too, at home for the first time. What's the excitement to get back or Shore Stadium to make it about you?
Well, it's about us at the end of the day. Looking forward to playing in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. It's going to be my first time back here in a couple years. So just looking forward to the excitement of, the first home game.
Yeah, he's kind of trying to go away from the idea that this is a revenge game for him. He seems to be more inclined to look at this as a Steeler home opener for him that he will enjoy in that way. What are your thoughts? You think it's actually what he's thinking inside or what?
I think he's putting on the persona. I think he's thinking
Yeah.
inside as a revenge game for sure, especially with the comment he made to the guy in the beginning, who asked him the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that he's thinking about it, and but I think he also wants to put on a show for the home fans, so hopefully he can go out there and show out for the Pittsburgh Steelers fans here at home, and have a big performance against his former team.
Yeah, I think he'll want to get a win, obviously, first and foremost. But if he's got 2 catches for 11 yards, I don't think he's gonna be very happy at the end, especially when it's against the Seahawks. But
yeah.
I guess it's easier to not have a grudge when you're the one who's trying to get out of there. He did request a trade and everything. So yeah, I mean, there's probably no bad blood on his side at least. This is a home game, so he's not gonna have to worry about Seattle fans booing him or anything. So he should get away with it pretty scot-free, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he'll have the Steeler fans at his back.
Yeah, next up, we got Mike Tomlin's presser from this week. I'm sure we'll talk about the Jets first and then move on to Seattle.
Good afternoon. Man, it's really exciting to kind of get back and be in the grind that is the football season. Yesterday was a really good day. Today is a good day, man. Just feeling the rhythm of the process, reviewing performance, learning from those reviews, and plotting a course for the next sequence, the planning, the prep, and then ultimately the play. Yesterday we met as a team and we looked at the Jet game. Certainly was a lot to learn from that performance. It's really good to learn while winning, and so I'm thankful that we did enough to win the game, but certainly there were some things that were indicative of week one, like football. I thought in some instances we lacked in some fundamentals, some communication, and other things that can cause you to play less than stellar, particularly early in the season. I thought a real positive note is that we weren't highly.
Thoughts on any of that? I guess, I mean, it's week one. What do you expect, especially with the way they played preseason when they didn't really play anyone?
Yeah.
There's going to be things to fix. Hopefully he's right and they're able to correct these things and move forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot that they need to fix up on. And I hear what he's saying about it being week one. You got a lot of new players out there for sure, and a lot of things, a lot of different moving pieces, things like that. But I mean, this is kind of stuff we've seen over the past couple of years. I just hope that, like he said, it was good for them to learn on the winning side of the ball here. So hopefully that they saw what their mistakes were and they can correct it and not have too many of the mistakes and issues that they had in this week one. But again, like you said, and I agree exactly what you said. I mean, they didn't play these guys in the preseason, so it was like their first time all out there playing together. So, probably a little bit of nerves, a little jitters, things like that. But they played decent, but they definitely have some things they need to fix up.
Yeah. The good thing is win on the road, even if it's the Jets. You don't expect the Jets to be too great this year.
Mm-hmm.
Win is a win. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Let's go back to Tom.
Penalized. I think we had 4 penalties in the game, and we really wanted to respect that component of it. Last week we prepared with an officiating crew at all of our practices. I think we benefited from that. I think we were one of the least penalized groups in the NFL last week, and so there was certainly some week one things we absorbed.
How about that? You've been complaining about these penalties all last year.
The penalties, the penalties were a problem last year. Yeah, I think he might
be. He
may be taking it serious. I'll believe it. Give it a couple weeks. I want to see how low it gets. But I mean, they were decent. Only 4. Not too many big mistakes. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes.
I mean, he did say last week we brought the officials in, so I wonder if he's not bringing them in this week. It will be something to see if he goes back to it, if they struggle, or if they just figure it out throughout the year. But I know that's your pet peeve, right?
It is. It's a big one for sure. I hope that they can get this corrected.
Absorb some attrition in the midst of play that kind of created more challenges. Deshaun Elliott being central there. Deshaun being an experienced member of our secondary in terms of being experienced in Pittsburgh We had some big plans in terms of his usage and his role as a communicator. Certainly was not displeased with the efforts of Chuck Clark, but was highly concerned with a number of new Steelers in an in-stadium circumstance on the back end, having to communicate and some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think Deshaun Elliott is a big loss for the Steelers.
Yeah.
He came in last year and just showed up and right away was an impact guy. They do go out and get Jabril Peppers this week. We'll try to help fill that void. I'm sure he's going to need some time to get into regular season mode. He made it through training camp, I'm pretty sure, in spring or preseason, but he got cut. Was a free agent. Steelers pick him up this week. I guess thoughts on Elliott first, and then you can go into Peppers if you want.
Yeah, it's a terrible loss for sure. I was kind of hoping he would, kind of continue with what he did last season into this season. Real quick, let me ask: have they said what his injury was? I know it was like a knee, but I didn't know if it was anything serious.
I right off the top of my head, I don't think I have an update for you.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either. That was the other thing. So but I did see them, sign Peppers, which, was definitely good that they were able to pick somebody up, pretty quick right after him going down. I mean, I know that Mike Tomlin talked about in the post-game show that Ramsey's able to kind of move around and be able to fill different voids and stuff for different positions and things like that for the secondary. But I am glad that they were able to pick somebody up. I do hope that things work out with Peppers on this team, and I hope that for a speedy recovery for Elliott as well.
So Elliott, it looks like it's going to be a couple weeks with an MCL sprain. That's I'm reading Jordan Schultz.
Yeah,
he's an NFL Insider. I'm reading his report. I don't know how NFL Insider he is, but 372 followers. So I mean that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And then Elliott himself said be back soon in a post. So it doesn't look like it's a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to get him back in there, have Peppers ready to go. It's just another. I mean, he's not been the guy he was supposed to be coming out of the draft, obviously as a first rounder, but he's still another name that they've added to the back side of the defense. It'll be interesting to see where he fits in. I don't know how far we're going to go into Tomlin's conference. I don't know if anyone's going to ask about it, but what are your thoughts on how they played Ramsey last week? I don't think we talked about that too much.
I mean, I liked how they played him. I mean, he again, like I just said, like with what Mike Tomlin had said, with him being able to play a nickel and play free safety and things like that, be able to move around, stuff like that. I did like how they played him, and he, of course, like we had mentioned during the post-game show, his name wasn't called much, but when you're actually out there playing and making plays and making stops, name's not going to be called too much because, the person you're guarding and watching is not getting the ball. So, it's not really going to have the name called, but I think he played well, and he definitely came up big in that final stop on that hit on Wilson to cause him to drop the ball and be able to give us that win there.
Yeah, I agree.
Offensively, I'd like to see us do a better job of protecting Aaron, particularly on play pass. As I mentioned after the game, you absorb certain risk executing play pass in an effort to get yards in chunks, but that risk should manifest itself in the form of multiple sacks like it did when you're prepared and good. And so as a staff and as a collective, we got to be a little bit better in that space. Certainly would like to run the ball more. We had 0 explosion runs of 10 yards or more. Didn't have enough runs in totality. The Jets had a lot to do with that. They possessed the ball. I think we had 25 minutes of time of possession. And so it affected us in those areas. I look forward to getting back to work in that space. On the defensive side of the ball, I didn't think we whipped enough blocks and made enough tackles specifically. And so, those are fundamental things. We certainly will work to continue to get better there. I thought that was just kind of the story of it. We certainly can do some more things schematically to help the guys and will, but that's an easier endeavor once we gain more experience collectively and some continuity in that space. I did like, as I mentioned after the game, the ability to stay the course, man, and
Before he goes into that, what are your thoughts on that? The run game wasn't what we wanted to see on either side of the ball, I think, but we went into that a little bit earlier, but I don't think we talked too much about the offensive run game. I think long-term Warren's going to have a good year. I think it was interesting to see how they played Kenneth Gainwell. I'm hoping that was like something they saw on film, that they thought he was the better option against the Jets, but I want to see more Warren. I want to see more Caleb Johnson. I don't know where you're at.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more Warren. I mean, if he's supposed to be the starting running back, I want to see him out there. We talked about it during the post-game show on Sunday. It was interesting to see Gainwell out there mostly. Like you said, maybe they did see something on film. I'm not sure. We didn't get to see Warren too much in the preseason, maybe two drives in the last preseason game, and that was about it. We did see Gainwell a lot. The run game really was not there for sure, and I'm hoping that maybe things will improve. Again, it could be, like you said, is this who the Jets are this year because they have a new coach? Is this their new identity? Or was it just, they weren't prepared to run the ball? I'm not sure. So I'm hoping that the running game improves. The line wasn't that well for blocking, so we didn't get to see the explosive plays like Mike Tomlin was saying. So hopefully we see more Warren. Hopefully the running game does improve. Hopefully the O-line is able to pick up more blocks, and to be able to get some of these big bursts, for good runs and stuff like that. So we'll just have to see what happens. Maybe it was just week one, who knows?
Yeah. For his part, Rodgers said that he has confidence in Broderick Jones protecting his back. And then, like I mentioned earlier, he also said that he thinks he ran into 2 of those sacks and that the offensive line actually played pretty well. So good on him for being a good teammate early on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a veteran quarterback for you.
Yeah.
And have the emotions and the continuity to make the necessary plays down the stretch. The 3-and-out prior to the last possession might have been the biggest possession. We went on a 3-and-out on offense just prior to that. We had to punt the ball away, and our ability to go 3-and-out right there, particularly with a third down design quarterback run, to win that sequence and give our offense the ball back was as big as the final drive. And so, like their ability to stay the course and deliver in the weighty moments, you're not going to have a good team, and you're certainly not going to have a good defense if they can't do so. I thought all 3 phases displayed that over the course of the game in a variety of ways. Our ability to move the ball offensively on the front side at halftime, I thought was critical. Certainly our ability to stop them at the end was critical, and certainly we had some timely plays in special teams, first and foremost with Boz doing what it is that he does. And so there's a lot to learn from that. We better learn quickly, as does everyone else. Because week 2 is fast upon us, man. Excited about leaning in on prep for Seattle. I'll quickly give you an injury report. Derek Harmon can anticipate it to continue to be out this week with his knee. Deshaun Elliott, the same with his knee. Malik Harrison, the same with his knee. And so those are 3 guys that are potentially scheduled to be out as I sit here today. Joey Porter wasn't able to finish the game with a hamstring. Optimistic about his availability, but I'll let the quality of his work and the amount of his work during the week be our guide there. And really optimistic and hopeful about Nick Herbig being available for us this week. And so, as is always the case in ball, you step into a stadium, you lose some capable men, but we also are going to get some capable men back. And so we'll put together a collective that positions us to be at our best. As I'm sure you guys have mentioned, we have Jabril Peppers in the building. We'll be signing Jabril today and get him up to speed about what it is we'd ask him to do. Highly familiar with him, not only from his time as a Cleveland Brown, but scouted him heavily when he came out of Michigan. He's a football player first, positional player second. He's displayed position flexibility over the course of his career at either safety position, at rundown nickel. He's been a capable guy in the special teams space over the course of his career, covering kicks, returning punts. He's just a good, well-rounded football player. And so glad to add and have him in the fold. We'll see how we divide the labor up as we get into the week. Their ability to communicate and execute obviously will be a major component of how we divide that labor up and go from there.
So yeah, I mean, all in all, the injury report wasn't too bad after week one.
3
guys out for sure. A couple guys he thinks that are going to be able to play. So yeah, I mean, never want to see injuries, but I think right now they're in a good spot there.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned Jabril Peppers again. We had talked about him earlier. I don't know if you want to add to either of those conversations.
No, I mean, like you said, I mean, you're going to have some bang ups here and there, with some guys getting hurt. It happens, it's football, accidents happen. But I'm glad doesn't seem like it's anything too serious. Nobody's on IR. Nobody's going to be out indefinitely for the rest of the season. So it looks like maybe just a couple weeks for a couple of these guys and they'll be back. And then I'm just happy that they were able to pick somebody up to kind of fill that spot for Elliott going down. So, I'm looking forward to him playing for us.
Yeah, I mean, they've been active on things like this lately. It's pretty impressive how quickly they were able to get him in. I wonder if they were talking to him beforehand or if it was just a move that they saw an injury and they just immediately went and got a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good on them, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll start on Seattle a little bit. Defensively, they're a challenge. They got some talented people on all levels. I'll start first uniquely with their secondary. I think not only is their secondary the strongest position on the unit, but probably their strongest position on the team. They just have a very talented and deep group. I think that was on display last weekend. They play a lot of people. They played as many as 7 defensive backs in the game. There's several that make that a reality. First and foremost is Witherspoon. He plays outside at a high level. He plays nickel at a high level. You can say the same thing about Love at safety. He'll play on the back end at a high level. He's got really good instincts and ball skills. You'll see him down in and around the line of scrimmage. He had a sack this past weekend, particularly in some of their sub work when they get in dime. He's very capable around the line of scrimmage. Kobe Bryant is his safety partner back there. He was a Thorpe Award winner as a corner at the University of Cincinnati. Has made a nice transition to safety, and they form a really rock solid tandem. Willem at the other corner opposite of Witherspoon is a height, weight, speed guy with some excellent ball skills. He played wide receiver for a couple of years at UTSA prior to coming into the league, and I think his interception production and ball skills really kind of give you an illustration of that history. At the linebacker level,
yeah, I think the secondary is probably the biggest strength they got out there, as Tomlin's alluding to. I really see this game being more about how well the offense can play. I'm not overly impressed by the Seattle offense, especially coming out of last week, I should say. They didn't play too great. It's always tough to play against San Fernando, so I mean it was a tough matchup for them. But they did not look too great offensively.
No, not at all. But I agree. That the secondary is definitely probably their strongest of their team, for sure. Like what Mike Tomlin said, and they've had some pretty, I guess, historic defenses in the past. They've been called the Legion of Boom. Back in the day. With Pete Carroll, Richard Sherman. So they definitely have a defense that can make some plays for sure. And, it is going to be interesting to see how our offense is out there trying to make some plays, against their defense. Hopefully that, they can get the ball moving down the field. It'll be a very interesting, fun game to watch. I'm excited. First home game here, playing against Seattle. So, for the season, it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious just where Seattle's at, like roster wise, what they're trying to do. I mean, they get rid of Gina, they get rid of DK, and then they replace them with guys that were. It's not really like you can't really call it a rebuild. They bring in Sam Darnold. They bring in Cooper Kupp. So I don't know where they're going. I guess they still see themselves as a possible playoff contender, but just on paper, I don't think they're going to be a team that's going to go far this year. Their division, I mean, what do we? I'm assuming you think San Fran is going to be up there. I think we did our picks, obviously. San Fran's going to be tough. LA is going to be tough. So I don't know where they're going exactly, but it is always. You never know in football. Week 2, home opener. Seattle has to come across the country to play the Steelers. It's a 1:00 game, right? Yeah, 1:00 game.
Yeah.
I just think this is a good spot for the Steelers to come up 2-0, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll definitely, make things, look good for them. Having to, going into week 2 or actually going into week 3, going up 2 games. So and I think me and you, kind of picked this as a win for them for sure. So they definitely have a chance to go 2-0 here. Going into week 3 once we get there. Being up 2 games and playing well. Throughout the rest of the season if they get this win.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you. I'm gonna go low scoring.
All right.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 20-6. Let's go
20-6.
Will be my final score. Steelers win.
Okay.
Hope to see the running game get together. I don't know if this is the week to do it, but I'd love to see Warren get himself like 15, 16 touches and like a total over 100 yards between receiving and rushing. Right?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good to see. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna say 24-14 Steelers over the Seahawks. I think they're gonna probably score at least twice on us.
You're closer to the over-under on the game. It's 39.5, so you're much closer than I am for sure.
So I'm gonna go 24-14. I think that's the way the game's gonna go. I think DK is gonna have a big game. I think that he doesn't want to tell the reporters how he's gonna play, but I think he's gonna have a very big game against the Seattle defense, and he's gonna be probably the MVP of the game is gonna be my pick.
Nice. Yeah, I think they'll try to get the ball to him early. Hopefully he doesn't press or anything like that. But yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be a lot of throws to him, a lot of screens early, maybe a deep ball. Hopefully they can get that going. But the spread is 3.5. The Steelers are favorite. I think we're both saying the Steelers will cover that. But you both have the under also. You just by 1.5. I have it by a bunch. I think that covers a lot of the Seattle game, but I figured I was going to let you. I'm surprised, or I'm putting this on you. I was going to say it, but you had said post game that you're going to be on Cam Hayward all season long. So I wanted to allow you to get 1 minute of action on Cam Hayward. Whenever you're ready, I'm going to single screen you. I'm going to make you. I'm going to let you talk it up. So here we go. Let's see if I can.
Cam Hayward. I'm a fan. This is Lee from the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. I'm the co-host with my buddy Jimmy T. We are fans, but here I'm going to take a minute to talk with you really quick. You are the captain of this defense. You were supposed to be the guy leading by example. This whole wanting to hold out because you don't make enough money for your family, I can't even tell you how much money you're making more than me because you're making way more than me. I don't want to hear the complaints. You got your money. You got what you needed. Now go out there and play like a defensive MVP. Show us all that you are the captain on this defense and not go out there crying and complaining about money. Make some plays. Lead us into a great season. Lead us into the playoffs. And then lead us to the Super Bowl. Play well. I want to see at least 15 sacks from you this season. I want to see about 20 tackles for losses. All right. I want to see about 10 deflected, batted down balls. All right. I want to see you out there leading the defense to a great win in this season into the postseason. Can you do that for us without bullshitting us and complaining about money and other shit? Be the captain. Be the leader of this defense. Lead by example. Show these guys who you are. Win some games and make some plays.
Well said. I don't know though about the stats you just expect them to have like a Aaron Donald and Reggie White combined season. That would like be the greatest season from an interior lineman in the history of football. But other than that, well said, Lee. I think that's a good way to end the episode. I'll see you post game.
Yep, I'll see you. Have a good one.